Hi, I just wanted to talk to you real quickly about injury handling for gymnastics schools. This is the number one way a gym can get closed down for good, and it's a really, really important topic. So some of the smaller injuries are just as important as the larger ones for the mental side of what we're dealing with in a gym school. The first number one tip, listen to the child. Sometimes they just want to tell you about an ouchie. They just want to know that you empathize with them about the pain that they're in. You want to ask them what they want to do. Do they need to sit out or let them lead in what they're wanting to do about the injury, get a Band-Aid, etc. And if in doubt, I would always have them sit out because that's a better way for them to not get hurt worse if something is a little bit wrong. There's some kids who are constantly saying something hurts, their stomach hurts, their head hurts. It's over and over again. You're not sure if it's real or not. It doesn't really matter because when they're saying their stomach hurts or their head hurts over and over again, it means there could be some kind of anxiety or stress or something bigger that you don't really know. So you always take it at face value. You address that concern very seriously, even if you're not exactly sure if they're just trying to, quote, get out of it. If they're trying to get out of something, there's a reason for that. We need to address that kindly and compassionately. So bigger injuries are very, very important and something we have to take super seriously. If you see a child and there's a potential of head or neck injury at all, never move the child. Make sure you have seen it before you move them. If you're not sure, you have tests, you bring somebody expert over. Really important that you don't just decide on your own if there's anything questionable about how they fell. Always overdue concern. So there was a time where I didn't think there was an injury at all. The kid was moaning and reaching and grabbing, and I just really didn't think they got hurt. So I didn't say anything. And come to find out, they broke their foot, and it was a big injury, and it made me look like I didn't care. And I just didn't think it was a bad injury, but I was wrong. So you want to make sure you overdo your concern. If they're acting like it's a big deal, you act like it's a big deal, and that's the most important thing to do. Never give your opinion on the injury. So I've had coaches who have said, yeah, that's for sure not broken, or that's just a sprain, and it turns out they're wrong. So we don't want to give our opinion. You can say, I have seen in this type of injury, this has been the result sometimes and sometimes this, but don't give your opinion about this particular injury and what you know it is. Sitting out or going home, you have to make that okay. No practice is worth that. So make sure that it's okay with you, that they take it easy. We're also trying to teach kids that they have to have some self-compassion and they have to know when to give themselves a break. So these are all lessons that we're trying to teach. So we want to make sure you do not guilt them into trying to get back into practice before they actually should. Even though all of these tips that we've been talking about are important for the athlete's health and safety and well-being, we also want to make sure you understand that these could be safe sport concerns for you. We don't want any of our coaches' lives to be affected or ruined because they say or do the wrong thing with regards to an athlete. So we want to make sure you don't ever hug, touch, rub any part of their body. Don't let sick kids on your lap. We don't want anything that could be misconstrued by someone about you. So there are accusations, and it's really important that you don't set yourself up so somebody can accuse you of something. We also want to watch out how you spot because we don't want to touch kids in places that make them feel uncomfortable. And if you do slip and you grab them in a private area, you make sure you apologize quickly. And when positioning, you try to use tips of the finger and not flat hands. If the child's afraid and you pressure or guilt them into doing something, you're going to be liable. So please, no practice and trying to go back to practice before they feel ready or try to do a skill before they feel ready. None of that is ever worth it. So make sure it is guided by you, but the child has the ultimate decision on when they do that skill that they're afraid of. And feelings, that's the number one most important thing. If you make kids feel badly, there are stories where kids have made up stories about adults they're just super, super angry about. So if you make that kid ever feel to the point where they can't stand you, you can be harmed pretty badly. So be really careful what you say. You don't want to be falsely accused of anything, and you want to make sure you always take into account how what you're saying will affect that child. All really important tips that hopefully help us and help you stay healthy, positive, safe, making a good environment for all the kids we teach.